Hey guys, welcome to Coffee Chat. I'm Emily from Jones Design Company. So a coffee chat is where we just chit chat about the things going on in life, the things that we might talk about if we were sitting over a cup of coffee together. So today I have a couple of things to talk about. The first thing is that I'm here in my studio. I know I've shown some pictures on the blog about it. I posted a picture this week on Instagram just about how there's like boxes everywhere and I don't have the knobs on the dressers yet. And this project is taking a lot longer than, actually, all projects take longer than you originally think, right? And so that's what's happening in my world. I feel like I have these great ideas and I want to get them all done, and then kind of life shows up and happens. So we've had some hard things go on this last week, and we've got sick kids and we had birthday parties. And so I think what I want to say is that in blogging, it feels like everyone is like takes the before and takes the after, and it took like 2 weeks and then they're done and everything is perfect and wonderful. And I don't know that I've ever prescribed, I hope that I've never put it across that I'm any different than a normal person, but I'm absolutely 100% normal. And I just want you to know, if you have projects going on in your house as well, or you have moving boxes from moving this fall, you're in good company. Here I am, same as me. It's pretty normal around here. So I'll keep showing progress. We'll keep making progress. We found carpet this week that we're hopefully going to order for our second and third floor. That was something that we wanted to have done before we moved in October, and here we are in February and we still haven't finished that project. So that's just the way things go around here. Okay, so last night we celebrated, my oldest son just turned 13. His name is Ethan. He is the first grandchild, the first cousin, the first everything on both Ryan's side and my side. And so we decided that on his 13th birthday, we wanted to start this new tradition of getting together and just celebrating the 13-year-old. So this was the first one of our family. And then what we have is 9 kids on my side, and they really are all like every year. So for the next 9 years, we'll be doing this celebration of a 13-year-old. This idea, I know it's not like a new concept, but the idea for our family came from, I nannied for a family of 3 little girls, and they're a Jewish family. And so when they turned 13, they had these amazing bat mitzvah celebrations, and we became good family friends with them. So did my sisters and my mom. And so we all went to these celebrations of the 3 girls of their bat mitzvahs. And in the Jewish religion, a bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah for a boy is kind of a coming of age ceremony. It's when they become able to be responsible for themselves. They can participate in religious ceremonies. They learn some of the Hebrew. They learn part of the Torah, and they do usually a community service project, and then they have this big party. And so we went to these celebrations. This was new for us. We're not a Jewish family, so we didn't know these traditions. And it was just so beautiful and wonderful. And so we remember sitting there between my sisters and my mom and I, and then Ryan and the husbands were there too. And we're like, we need to do something like this. Like, while we are not Jewish, this ceremony is so wonderful. And I just can imagine when you're 13 years old, it's a weird time of life. You are in middle school, you're kind of going through puberty, and not yet an adult, but not totally a kid. And just how amazing was it for us to see all of the people kind of pour on celebration onto these 3 girls for their bat mitzvahs, and we wanted to offer the same thing to our kids. So at that point, I think our kids were like, you know, Ethan might have been 5 or 6 or so. And so here we are 7 years later. He turned 13 last week. And so one of the things that we really wanted to do was incorporate some sort of kind of coming of age ceremony where we could just honor that kid. So we will do it differently for each of the kids, I'm imagining. But for Ethan, he wanted to get dressed up, and he has always wanted to go to a nice dinner without all of the other little kids there, because he feels like they don't have great manners and they want to like draw on the tablecloths, and he just wants to sit and have a nice dinner and enjoy good food, which is so cute and darling for so typical of what Ethan would want. So we decided to take him out to dinner. So it was just my 2 sisters and their husbands, my parents, Ryan's brother and sister, or sister-in-law. And so we all gathered. There were 13 of us, and Ethan, it was just all adults, all his most special people. And he didn't know this, but each person came prepared with some sort of just word or blessing or encouragement or wisdom to speak over him. And so we all sat around And unfortunately, I come from a crying family, and so there were a lot of tears, but they were happy tears. And it just was so sweet to, as a mom, to hear what all of these other people had to say about my son, but then also for Ethan, even though it was a little bit awkward for him to like have all eyes on him and everyone saying these such nice things and getting teary about him. It was a little awkward, but he said when we got in the car at the end of the night, he was like, that was the best night of my life. And it was just, it was so amazing because he already is a fantastic kid, and we hope that he knows how loved he is and how special he is. But I just don't think that those are words that a 13-year-old hears very often. Or actually, I sat there and I'm like, can we do this for my next birthday? Like, I think we need to hear from other people what they have to say about us, and just encouragement and blessings and wisdom as he grows up and gets a little bit older. So it was so fun. It was such a great night, and we can't wait to do it for the next kids. And like I said, we've got one coming up every year for the next 9 years. But it just felt like the perfect way to bring him into the teenage years. And that is insane that I have a teenage kid. But I love him. I was just on the phone with my best friend this morning. We have a phone date on Friday mornings, and that makes me really sad that I have to like schedule my friendship, but it's the best way we live long distance. And so in order for us to talk every week, we do it in the mornings, on Friday mornings. And so I just got off the phone with her, and she was like, how does it feel to have a 13-year-old? Is that crazy? And it's a little bit crazy. I remember saying probably to her and to everyone, I was like, gosh, I sure hope that Jesus comes back before my boys hit puberty. What am I going to do? I don't know how to be a boy mom and a kid who's going through puberty. I don't know how to do that. And now here I am, 13 years later, and I love it. I love these boys. Ethan had 10 friends over last weekend to celebrate his 13th birthday. And so our house was just full of these like pre-puberty teenage boys. And I found myself loving it. I loved these kids. So Paige Knutson, I don't know if you are familiar with her blog. She writes a blog. I'll link to her. But I just look up to her so much. She has 4 girls, and her girls are just a couple years older than my kids. And so I look up so much to hearing what she has to say just about raising these kind of grown children now. And so I've always thought of myself as a great like preschool kid mom. I love little kids. And then now being able to grow up with the kids, and I still really love being their parent, and it just keeps getting better. And I miss those little kid days for sure. I loved them at that age. But now I have a niece that age and a new baby coming. And so, anyway, I love being a mom of grown-up kids. I don't talk about motherhood very often on the blog, but it is definitely a big part of my life. And it's so special to feel like Ethan is like my little buddy, that we're just kind of growing up and figuring this out together, and he's turned out so well. So I'm grateful for him. One of the things that was said last night was by my father-in-law, who is pretty quiet. He's not like overly verbal. And so when he did speak last night, it was just so awesome to hear his wisdom. But one of the things that he said that really struck me, and I hope Ethan got it too, was that we live in a time when truth and untruth is really kind of hard to decipher. Like if truth is straight up, untruth is just a little notch off, and it just becomes difficult to know like what is truth and what is not truth. And so what my father-in-law said last night is that when a bank teller is taught how to find counterfeit money, what they're actually taught is how to find or how to identify real money. They know all the ins and outs, what it should look like, what it should feel like, all of the different little stamps and icons on a real dollar bill, so that when they come across something that's not true, it's very apparent and very obvious. And I just loved that analogy of being so grounded in the truth and so sure of what you believe that when something comes across you that is contrary to that, it just becomes very obvious. And so that was Bob's prayer for Ethan, is just that he will be so grounded in God's word and in the truth, and that he'll be surrounded by people who can also encourage that in him, that when untruth comes, which certainly it will, he'll be able to identify what that is and be able to stand up against it. And so isn't that good? I love it. I love it for my own life. I loved it for Ethan's life. So hopefully that is encouraging to you as well. Okay, honestly, I wanted to talk about that. I just wanted to share how amazing it was. If you have kids that are getting older, and if you're like a young mom like I was and you're afraid of your kids getting older, be encouraged that it still is wonderful and great. And teenage kids, although we're only at 13, like I haven't gone further, but so far it's just been really great. Like I love these kids. And then also if you have birthdays coming up and you are not sure what to do when your kid kind of comes to that like teenage coming of your age, I just so encourage coming up with something that maybe it's not gathering up all of the family, but doing something that would be really special, just to mark that time in their lives. And then my last thing, which we're just taking it down a full notch, is this lip gloss is my favorite. It's by Beauty Counter. I don't know if you are familiar with Beauty Counter. They are a skincare and makeup company that doesn't use all of the toxins and I'm going to say this all wrong, but they don't use all of the chemicals that most makeup and skin companies do. The FDA doesn't regulate that in the United States, and so this company, Beauty Counter, is doing a great job of trying to kind of advocate for removing all of the chemicals from our skincare and makeup products. And so I've been using some stuff kind of intermittently and trying to add more stuff in. Well, one of my very close friends just became a Beauty Counter salesperson, and so I just wanted to give a little shout out to her. So good job, Jen. We are for you. And if you guys are looking for any like healthy, safe skincare, shampoo, I don't know, makeup, I love this company. But the thing that I like the most is this lip gloss. I have it in Peony, and it's just a really great like neutral lip gloss. So I don't wear a lot of lipstick. My lips are small, so I don't feel like I really want to have them shown, like really show off, but I love this lip gloss. It keeps my lips smooth and I like the color. So Beauty Counter in Peony, I love it. But I encourage you, I'm sure there's a million people who are Beauty Counter reps, and so I'm not saying, go for one and not the other. Like if you have friends that sell, definitely support them. But I just encourage you to look into what this company is all about. It's awesome. And it's great to support small businesses and other women who are kind of supporting their family through doing this stuff too. So, okay, that's it for my coffee chat for today. Happy Friday, happy weekend. I'm glad to be here with you. I hope that you have a great weekend. And if you have little projects around the house or things to do with your family, I just hope that it is a great, productive, and relaxing time together. So thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you next time.